On the same day, Young-hak was discovered to have met with the head of the Mars Corporation from the United States, who was facilitating Young-hak's corrupt practices. This news quickly reached Yoon-sung, who received the information from Sik-jung after he was assigned to monitor them. They both took action to gather evidence by placing surveillance cameras in the room occupied by Young-hak and the Mars Corporation's leader. They successfully recorded the contract agreement for the purchase of defective aircraft, which Young-hak had arranged to gain substantial profits. He intended to take 20% of the payment for himself. Upon learning of this corruption scheme, Sik, Jung and Yoon-sung were incensed. They will immediately expose Young-hak and inform the public of his deceitful plans.
당신은 절대 대통령이 될 수 없어. 저런 것들이 대통령을 꿈꾼다는 자체가 문제야, 이 사회가. 이 정도일 줄은 몰랐는데 아버지께 말씀드리고 디데이 잡아야겠어. 그럼 빨리 디데이 잡아서 처단해야지, 저런 것들.
After finishing their surveillance, Yoon-sung went to a bar and coincidentally met Soo-hee, who was drunk after being left by Young-jo before he went to a party. Accidentally, Soo-hee spilled her drink on Yoon-sung's pants, forcing him to dry them in a room. Then, Nana and Young-jo saw them in the same room, leading to a misunderstanding. Nana, shocked by the situation, immediately ran away after receiving the files requested by her superior, without listening to any explanation from Yoon-sung or Soo-hee. Following the misunderstanding incident, Young-jo left Soo-hee again, after receiving news that his team had identified the man suspected of the attack, which turned out to be a false identity of Jin-pyo. The situation turned into a threat for both Jin-pyo and Yoon-sung when Young-jo arrived to conduct a direct investigation into Jin-pyo's identity. From that moment on, Jin-pyo had to be more cautious in his actions.
집을 자주 비우더구나. 여자 때문이냐?
아니, 그게 아니고요.
사랑하지 말라고 말했다. 사랑하는 순간 우리의 계획은 틀어져 버려.
김영주 검사가 여길 왜?
검사?
Late into the night, despite being scolded by Jin-pyo for staying in another house, Yoon-sung still went to Nana's house to explain the misunderstanding to Nana, who appeared angry with him. Nana then surprisingly invited Yoon-sung to return the food container to Yoon-sung's mother. However, upon seeing his mother looking ill, he became worried and carried her home. Jin-pyo, witnessing this, thought that Yoon-sung's mission could be jeopardized if he became connected with them, but he couldn't do anything at that moment, and just watched. The next morning, Jin-pyo visited Yoon-sung's mother to inform her that her son was doing well, and that there was no need to worry, promising to reunite them when the time was right.
내 아이 여기 있어. 내 아이. 차라리 난 죽이고 가지고서 어떻게 나한테 이렇게 살 수 있어? 어떻게? 내 아이.
On the same day, Go Ki-jun was surprisingly released from prison after his younger sibling confessed to the wrongdoing. Everyone welcomed his freedom with joy, including Yoon-sung. Unfortunately, Yoon-sung's happiness didn't last long because, a few minutes later, the president pleaded with Yoon-sung to tutor his daughter. The president's daughter turned out to genuinely like Yoon-sung, going to great lengths to persuade him to become her tutor. This request, of course, couldn't be refused by Yoon-sung. He himself agreed to tutor the president's daughter, and furthermore, this would at least give Yoon-sung more opportunities to see Nana, who was guarding the president's daughter.
오늘부터 하시는 게 어때요? 윤성 박사님도 슈넬 샹스 베스의 샤워젤이네? 뭐야 두 사람? 같은 집에 사는 것처럼?
야, 됐고. 화목 6시 반부터 8시 반까지 해. 그리고 너 나 좋아하지 마. 나 너 같은 꼬맹이 이상형 아니거든.
Lately, Yoon-sung's days had indeed become busier spending time with Nana, but he still didn't neglect his main mission. Every afternoon he would make time to go home and coordinate plans with Sik-jung. They had already intended to expose the draft-dodging scheme of Young-hak's sons. At that time, Young-hak had actually received a warning from Young-chan to stop his dirty games and corrupt practices regarding military boots, but Young-hak still refused to admit his actions and acted as if he were clean. Young-hak thought he had nothing to worry about in his position. However, in the coming days, After his public campaign speech, Yoon-sung and Shik-jung began to take action to trap his sons into revealing themselves that they were healthy and should they participate in mandatory military service. They even arranged for the youngest son to beat up Yoon-sung so that Shik-jung could record it to prove that he was indeed healthy and capable of assaulting someone in order to enlist in the military.
땡땡이 저 바보. 내가 그렇게 가르쳐줬는데 매치기 한번 못하냐?
이거 진짜 아프겠다, 이거 좀. 안 놔?
After all that evidence was collected, Yoon-sung and Shik-jung sent it to the military service. As a result, the next morning, Young-ha's 3 sons were picked up to fulfill their mandatory duty. This was clearly unexpected, but they couldn't avoid it because they had already garnered media attention. Although this action garnered Young-hak more public support, and Jin-pyo disliked it, Yoon-sung believed that this was the right plan to destroy Young-hak to his lowest point.
이러다가 소용하니까 경선에 승리라도 하면 어쩔 거야.
최고의 자리까지 올려놓고 추락시킬 겁니다. 3.15 경선 때 반드시 추락시키겠습니다.
On the final day of Youngju's campaign, evidence of alleged corruption committed by Young-hak with the Mars Company was obtained, leading to an immediate search of his company. Meanwhile, Yoon-sung and Shik-jung initially wanted to hack the video set up at the campaign venue to expose the corrupt acts. However, because Shik-jung's disguise was discovered, their plan changed, forcing them to kidnap Young-hak to carry out another action. The problem was that Nana, who was on duty escorting, chased after the disguised Yoon-sung and shot him. Yoon-sung was injured, but managed to escape without Young-hak. Having no other choice, Yoon-sung could only use Soo-hee's clinic as a place to flee and hide, so he broke a window to get in, and tried to tend to his wound himself, but suddenly Soo-hee entered and found him. Soo-hee acted quickly and helped Yoon-sung treat his wound. Seeing that the police were still roaming around looking for Young-hak's kidnapper, Soo-hee eventually suggested that Yoon-sung stay overnight at her clinic. The next morning, Nana saw them, and once again became misunderstanding and jealous. Nana then slammed Yoon-sung onto the sidewalk. That caused Yoon-sung's wound to reopen. While at the Blue House, when Young-jo wanted to investigate the hacking of the police data, Young-jo realized that the clothes Yoon-sung was wearing were his own, which Soo-hee, his ex-wife, had lent him. That day, Young-jo confiscated all the computers in the Blue House for investigation, but Yoon-sung had quickly wiped all the data from his computer, so he remained safe during the inspection. Returning from his work at the Blue House, Yoon-sung picked up Shik-jung, who was hiding in a trash can after his failure the previous day, and they went together to meet Jin-pyo. The previous failure had truly angered Jin-pyo, to the point where he slapped Yoon-sung. However, his anger didn't last long, and he hoped Yoon-sung would recover quickly to carry out their mission again.
괜찮습니다.
좋다. 믿어보마. 하지만 2번 실수는 절대 용납 못해.
The following day, when Yoon-sung intended to give Nana diarrhea so she wouldn't have to escort Young-ha, his drink for her was accidentally consumed by her colleague, foiling Yoon-sung's tactic. At one point, Nana inadvertently saw Shik-jung and chased after him, neglecting her duty of escorting the president's daughter. Consequently, a fight broke out between the president's daughter and 2 other girls in the restroom. The fight was recorded by the crowd and uploaded to the internet, resulting in Nana receiving a reprimand from her superior, followed by a 2-week suspension and a 6-month salary cut. Yoon-sung, on the other hand, was pleased because Nana's suspension meant she wouldn't be escorting Young-ha. Naturally, Nana was very upset about this. Yoon-sung then took her out for a walk to cheer her up and help her forget all the troubles that had occurred. Later in the afternoon, they got caught in the rain, and Yoon-sung was forced to take Nana to his house. They ended up staying there overnight. Just when Yoon-sung thought Nana would be safe, away from the dangers of her job, after taking Nana home, she received news that her suspension had been revoked, and she was reassigned to escort Yongha.
너 없으니까 마음이 안 놓인다. 큰일 겪을 때마다 김나는 네가 경호해서 산 거 같다고. 근심 풀어줄 테니까 너 정신 차리고 제대로 잘 해.
That day, Yoon-sung successfully played the video evidence of the corrupt acts he had previously recorded during the election debate. Unfortunately, as he tried to escape, Young-jo chased after him, and they briefly fought. Nana, confused by the situation, was then taken hostage by Yongha due to her carelessness. Nana was thrown and almost fell to the lower floor, but luckily Yoon-sung saved her. Meanwhile, Young-jo continued to pursue the fleeing Yongha.
다가오지 마. 다가오지 말라 그랬지.
Yoon-sung's shoulder wound reopened and worsened because it was used as leverage to pull Nana up when she almost fell from the upper floor. Jin-pyo was actually at the location, observing them all, but he only moved after seeing Yongha about to escape. He managed to stop him and then scolded Yoon-sung, whom he considered quite negligent with his mission. Furthermore, Yoon-sung seemed unaware that Young-jo had placed a tracking device on his clothes, allowing the police to follow their trail at that moment. Jin-pyo was forcing Yongha to name everyone involved and responsible for the deaths of his friends. Yongha mentioned Kim Jong-sik, Young-jo's father, but before he could name anyone else, the police had surrounded the building. Yoon-sung was forced to release sleeping gas to escape. Jin-pyo, who intended to kill Yongha, also fainted, and Yongha was sent to the prosecutor's office.
그리고 또
알겠어.
Jin-pyo was, of course, furious. He beat Shik-jung and said it was punishment for Yoon-seong disobeying orders. But this time, Yoon-seong stood his ground. He wanted to take revenge in his own way and would protect everyone he cared about. Yoon-seong's actions only fueled Jin-pyo's anger even further. He immediately assigned Sang-kuk to find information about Nana, who Yoon-seong had always protected. Nana herself had actually been suspecting that the city hunter they had been searching for all this time was Yoon-seong, but she couldn't confirm the truth yet. At least for now, only Soo-hee knew, because she had to treat Yoon-seong, whose wound was constantly worsening. However, despite being in pain and overly worried about Nana, he finally returned to Nana's house that night, asking her to be careful while Yoon-seong was away.
너 지금 몇 시인 줄 알아? 새벽 2시가 넘었어.
잠은 안 오지. 걱정은 되지. 밤이슬 밟고 다니면서 사람 걱정시키게 누군데 왜 자꾸 나한테만...
The following morning, Yoon-seong and Jin-pyo discovered that their target, Kim Jong-sik, was none other than Young-jo's father, the prosecutor handling the case. Jin-pyo ultimately demanded that Yoon-seong bring Lee Kyung-wan and Seo Yong-ha to him, including Kim Jong-sik. They had to be killed because Jin-pyo wasn't confident that his targets would be punished if handed over to Young-ju. Yoon-seong was now under pressure, especially since his bloodstains were left at several attack locations. Young-jo suspected him and even questioned Nana, who had just been fired from the Blue House. In the middle of the day, while Young-jo was interrogating Yongha, he obtained a great deal of accurate information from Young-jo's colleague who had interrogated Lee Kyung-wan. Upon learning this, Yongha was furious at Kyung-wan's betrayal. This anger quickly turned into anxiety when Young-jo began to change his questions and brought up the 21 missing military personnel from the special operation. Yongha couldn't tell Young-jo the truth, so he chose to answer that he knew nothing about the necklace.
1983년 10월 행방불명된 특수부대원들의 것이었습니다. 거기에 관해서 뭔가 알고 있는 게 있으면 말씀해 주십시오.
그걸 내가 어떻게 알겠어? 21명이나 죽은 큰 사건이 대통령이 연관돼 있는데 설마 밝혀지겠나? 난 잘 몰라요.
알겠습니다. 오늘 조사는 여기까지 하도록 하죠.
Sometime after Young-jo reached a dead end because he couldn't access the military data, he attended an award ceremony held for Go Ki-jun's younger sibling, who was honorably discharged after the tragedy that caused his amputation due to state negligence. Yoon-seong was present at the event to accompany Go Ki-jun's sibling, and was aware that Young-ju came and spoke with the president. Secretly, Jin-pyo also came to observe Young-chan from a distance, subtly threatening his presence, before disappearing again. Young-jo's meeting with the president was actually because he wanted to request permission to access the data of the missing military personnel. The president seemed hesitant to make a decision and chose to consider the matter. Young-jo tried to be patient and continued to gather information, also secretly investigating the relationship between Yoon-seong and Jin-pyo. Because he suspected both of them, Yoon-seong tried hard not to tell anyone that Jin-pyo was his adoptive father. But Jin-pyo met Nana at her house that day, introducing himself as Yoon-seong's father. Indeed, the introduction was merely Jin-pyo's way of warning Yoon-seong that he shouldn't fall in love because it could endanger someone's life.
내 청뿌리에서 저 아이를 구해냈던 거구나. 어리석은 너, 사랑하지 말라고 했거늘. 명심해라. 너 때문에 저 아이가 죽을 수도 있다는 걸.
Since then, Yoon-seong avoided Nana as much as possible and followed Jin-pyo's will, which was to kill Kim Jong-sik. The man was actually well known by Shik-jung, but he couldn't be completely honest with Yoon-seong due to past issues related to Shik-jung himself and Nana's parents. Nana, who now had to struggle again in her life after being fired from the Blue House, even though the president's daughter liked her very much and still often visited her after the dismissal. Days continued to pass, and everyone was busy with their own affairs, and Young-jo had found a common thread connecting Yoon-seong to the various incidents involving those problematic officials. To confirm his suspicions, he questioned Soo-hee, who had lent her clothes to Yoon-seong. But Soo-hee lied and tried to protect Yoon-seong,
예전에 내가
who
범인
happened
쫓다
to be at her
다쳤을
clinic.
때처럼 이윤성도 치료해줬어?
윤성 씨가 다쳤어? 그럼 병원 가겠지. 내가 왜 치료를 해?
말 안 해도 돼. 내가 알아낼 수 있어.
That day, after leaving the clinic for treatment, Yoon-seong went to Nana's house to see Shik-jung packing his belongings. He took Shik-jung home for Nana's safety until his mission was complete. They had to stay apart. Nana actually already knew that Yoon-seong was the city hunter, but she didn't dare say it to Yoon-seong directly. She was afraid that Yoon-seong would distance himself from her. Even without Nana telling him, Yoon-seong intended to stay away from Nana and hurt her feelings. Their relationship deteriorated. That same night, Yoon-seong was troubled by various issues. Lee Kyung-won suddenly fell ill and was transferred from prison to the hospital for treatment. Yoon-seong panicked because Jin-pyo would kill Lee Kyung-won. Yoon-seong went to the hospital and arrived at the same time as Young-jo, only to find that Lee Kyung-won had already been murdered by Jin-pyo. After that incident, Yoon-seong immediately went to Jin-pyo's house, unknowingly followed by Young-ju. They couldn't get inside, so they didn't know that Yoon-seong was standing up to Jin-pyo. He was angry at Jin-pyo's actions of killing 2 policemen at that
조국에
time.
배신당해서 죽어간 동료들을 위한 복수인지 아니면 혼자 살아남았다는 죄책감에서 오는 자학인지.
네가 나와 맞선다면 넌 내 손에 죽을 수도 있다.
피하지 않겠습니다. 아버지를 막을 사람은 저밖에 없으니까요. 목숨 걸고 막을 겁니다.
As soon as he left Jin-pyo's house, it turned out that Young-jo was still waiting for him. He even directly accused Yoon-seong of being the city hunter. However, thanks to Shik-jung constantly shopping with his credit card and Yoon-seong dating many women, they created a strong alibi to refute the accusation. Frustrated by the dead end in his case, Young-jo asked his team to find a way to get a DNA test on Yoon-seong, as that was the way to confirm the city hunter's identity by matching the blood found at the crime scenes. Similarly, Yoon-seong was frustrated because after Jin-pyo murdered Kyung-won, he was certain that Jin-pyo would kill again. Because he was too focused on Jin-pyo's actions and his mission, Yoon-seong didn't realize that a photo of his mother had been left behind at Nana's house and was found by her, who immediately realized that Kyung-hee was Yoon-seong's mother.
마디사 주머니는 이분은 그때
전 엄마가 없습니다.
엄마 없이 커서 이 모양 이 꼴이다 왜?
얼굴도 몰라요.
Okay, guys, that was the story of City Hunter Part 4. We will continue with Part 5 in the next content. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so you don't miss our other content.